Hello, everybody. This is Carlos again with the Sunday school lesson for this quarter. We got a new quarter. We got a new lesson. We got a new unit. I mean, a lot of newness. Spring is ahead. And this is for March 2nd. Upcoming Sunday, March 2nd, is going to be lesson 1 in the new quarter. The new quarter is Jesus' fulfillment of Scripture. The new unit is Jesus and the Davidic covenant. And our first lesson, we land on the great book of Samuel, the 2nd Samuel chapter 7, and the name of the lesson is An Eternal Kingdom. In this lesson, if you recall, we've had a lot to happen in this great book of 2nd Samuel. Samuel meaning Shamael. Remember the prayers of Hannah, you Bible scholar. Remember his mother prayed and prayed, and when she conceived of him, she gave him back to God, and she even named him Shamael, meaning Shama, to hear or listen to or obey, and God, and El meaning God. So, second book of Samuel, and we're up in chapter 7. What's happened before was we've had the death of Saul, and we've had the killing of the Amalekite that killed Saul. Remember, David said, who do you think you are, killing Saul? Saul was God's anointed. So he ordered the death of the Amalekite for killing Saul. Then David goes on to, lots of wars. He goes on to conquer Jerusalem, the Philistines, and others. And so he's got this vast and great kingdom. And remember, David is a man after God's own heart. And God gave David Nathan as a prophet. And here we are in the book of 2 Samuel, verse 4, verse 4, chapter 7. And it came to pass that night that the word of the Lord came unto Nathan. Hold on, y'all. Let me get to it. Yeah. Came unto Nathan saying, and then it goes on. It's interesting because before this, Nathan had given David some bad advice. David came to Nathan and was asking about rebuilding the temple, wanted to build it with wood and cedar. And Nathan hurriedly, before he went and sought God's approval, said, oh yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. Wrong. There's a lesson in that, right? We should always seek God's approval before we take a move, especially a move as important as doing something that has to do with the upbuilding of his house. So let's be ever prayerful. And then it goes on, and basically this is God talking to Nathan. Say, hey, look, you go and you tell David, thus said the Lord. And then he goes on to say, listen, I've been in control of this thing all through the judges. I've had my hand on this, and in the Ark of the Covenant's been in these tents from place to place, and my hand is there. My hand is still going to be there. Why would David think that he needs to go and build a temple for me? I'm not giving him that order to do that. He needs not to do it. Remember, I said before about those vessels, and this could have been, it's titled An Eternal Kingdom, but it could have been titled David's Not the Vessel. And I put those pictures of all those different vessels before, right? All these different bottles, remember? And every bottle has a different meaning. Some have great meanings, some have smaller meanings, but they all serve a purpose. Interestingly enough, though, David was a man after God's own heart. You would think in the natural, in the physical, David would be the right one to build the temple. But it wasn't in God's plans. Similarly, we parents, right? There's going to be a number of times as a parent, and there has been. I got teenagers and I got young ones too. There's a number of times when you naturally think as a parent, well, I'm the one that's supposed to be the vessel, if you will. I'm the tool that's supposed to be used to tell my son the better way, to show him the better way. No. Well, of course, the charge is on our head to be a parent and to train him up in the way that he should go. We're not always the vessel, though. Sometimes God sends someone else. and they're the right vessel to do it, and it's all in God's master plan. So it's the same here. It was all in God's master plan, and you go through and you read it. The reason why God didn't want David to be the builder of the temple, he didn't want his temple being built during all this warring and this strife. And I mean, David was a man after God's own heart, but he was also, he's a king that was at war constantly. He was expanding his territories, and God allowed him to do that. Really what God wanted was, he wanted to make a way for David's son, the man of peace, Solomon, to build the temple. That's why David couldn't build a temple. He had something bigger in mind. Even he wanted a kingdom, not just this kingdom that David has. He wanted to build a kingdom that would last forever. Verse 16, and thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forevermore, forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. And how is it going to be established forever? Because Jesus is going to be the one that eventually, in the physical, sits on the throne. He's eternally always been on the throne, but he's going to come down in physical form, and he's going to come through David's line. What a blessing. So look what God had in store. David's already a king. He's already been blessed immensely, and God's looking to bless him even more. So what do we learn from this? Let go and let God. Always make sure you're in God's plan. Again, God bless you all. I love you all. If you need any help, feel free to give me a text, IM, Facebook, or pick up the phone and call. We love you, brothers and sisters. God bless you. Bye-bye.